still on because I'm going to leave it on. How we doing? It's Funky Friday on the Morning Night Live. How you doing, people? I'm still dinking around with some of the toys here just to make sure they work right, which they didn't for some reason because, you know. Anyway, welcome to the show. Happy Friday. Hope you have a good weekend planned. I don't. One of my rare, unplanned, unpacked weekends, which is going to be, actually, I like the idea. Although it's not like I'm not going to do anything. I have lots of laundry I could be doing, which I will be. I have a whole ton of furniture in my garage that I'm actually going to try to sell some of it this weekend. I'm going to have a one-day furniture sale in my driveway and try to get rid of some of it because some of it I don't feel like working on, and then other pieces I have finished, and I'm just going to put it all out there and at least try to sell some of it and clear out my garage a little bit so that Lady Boomer can get her car in the garage because we had our first frost this morning. Unbelievable. Well, it's believable because it's that time of year, but it's still October and we had a frost. At least on my truck. Her car didn't frost up. My truck frosted up. I don't understand it. The plants didn't frost up. Just my truck when I was getting ready to leave. So anyway, happy Friday, and we'll get into the show in just a minute. Let's play the intro. Johnny. Ladies and gentlemen, coming to you live from the Lucky Dog studio in a hidden location somewhere in the upper Midwest of the United States of America, it's a brother making his own way, but with all the wrong opinions. Welcome to the Morning Night Live with your host, yours truly, PDawgKnight. All right, stop the damn music. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Morning Night Live. I'm your host, Marty, also known as Dawg Knight on the internet. I don't know why I'm yelling. My microphone's right next to my mouth. I guess, part of it is the freedom of being able to yell, knowing that nobody's upstairs asleep, even though I loved having my mother here. I don't have to be as quiet. And Lady Boomer's not up there asleep because she had to work this morning. And so I can be noisy and yell all I want. And it'll only freak my dogs out, wondering why I'm yelling. Anyway, good morning. It is Friday on the Morning Night Live, the 22nd of October, 2021. And I am so happy that you're here. I'm happy that I'm here. And I'm happy that we're all here. It is, So when I was naming my stream this morning, I probably should have rethought. Okay, so I had a picture of Alec Baldwin in my thumbnail this morning with the title trigger warning, and I got to thinking, too soon. And I'm like, what the fuck? I'll leave the title, but I'll take his picture off of it, just because I did really want to have the blowback from the Twitter shitheads. And I'm already swearing. Hello, HP Lovecraft. Thank you for being the first sponsor of the show. I greatly appreciate you. Hang on a second. I got to respond to this. Well, anyway, let me not respond to that. I'm getting messages for something that I wanted to sell, but I'm not going to do it during the show. I'll just leave them a quick ditty there. Took care of that. Told him I'll talk to him later. If I don't sell it, I'll sell it later. I'm not in any hurry to sell anything. Anyway, HP Lovecraft, thank you for being the first sponsor of the show. And who said from the YouTube SuperChats, who says the Trump curse is back? Yeah. So if you're not sure what we're talking about, yes. Alec Baldwin said that, or not said that, he accidentally killed somebody yesterday. Not a good thing. And that is the top story of the day. Oh, should I put the music back on? It is Funky Friday. We're going with the music. It's Funky Friday. we're playing the damn music. I'm going to turn that up for a second. Oh, yeah. It's kind of an old school feel to it. Okay, it's Funky Friday on the Morning Night Live. I'm going to turn that down because I want you to be able to hear me. Me! I kind of like this groove, though. Sometimes they have some good stuff on here. All right, so let's get into Alec Baldwin. Well, those are words you really never want to hear, but anyway. So if you're not 100% sure what we're talking about as far as Alec Baldwin shoots a prop gun, and he unfortunately ended someone's life and injured another person on the set of his new movie, Rust. The film's director of photography, Halna Hutchins, was killed, and director Joel Souza was injured on the set in New Mexico. Producer and actor Alec Baldwin fired a prop gun Thursday that killed one crew member and injured another on the set of a movie, Rust, in New Mexico, Santa Fe County Sheriff's Office said. The film's director of photography, Halna Hutchins, 42, was killed, and director Joel Souza, 48, was injured when Baldwin, 63, discharged the staged firearm, the sheriff's office said in a statement Thursday evening. Souza was taken to the hospital by ambulance and received emergency care. Officials said there was an accident today on the New Mexico set of Rust involving a misfire of a prop gun with blanks. A spokesperson for Baldwin said in a statement, production has been halted for the time being. The safety of our cast and crew remains our top priority. A representative from Baldwin declined to comment further. The Santa Fe New Mexican reported that Baldwin was seen Thursday outside the Santa Fe County Sheriff's Office in tears, but attempts to get a comment from him were unsuccessful. Good. I mean, as much as I detest Alec Baldwin, probably not the time to be talking to him. And there's a little bit, even despite the minor bit of my schadenfreude, because he's such an ass, but that has to be an extremely traumatic experience, and maybe not talking to him, trying to get a word from him outside the sheriff's office probably was not a good idea. And there's times when you just got to let the guy live in peace. But anyway, in one photo, the actress had been over by the curbside, and in another speaking on the phone. They were taking pictures of him and stuff. This might be the time the paparazzi should probably stay away, but they didn't. Anyway, Hutchins' representative declined to comment. She was flown by helicopter to the University of New Mexico Hospital, where she was pronounced dead, the sheriff's office said. No charges have been filed. The sheriff office added that the investigation is ongoing. Sheriff's deputies were dispatched around 1:50 local time in the afternoon. After a 911 call about a shooting on the set, Francis Fisher, who stars in the movie, tweeted overnight that Souza was out of the hospital, although NBC News could not immediately confirm that the director has been released. Bonanza Creek Ranch is often used for Western productions. Aerial video from NBC affiliate KOB of Albuquerque showed that an old church that appeared to be blocked off. And then they talk a little bit about the film's going to be about. So on these sets, even with blanks, you got to be careful with firearms, because in fact, I think one of the rules in filming is that you shouldn't be anywhere within 20 feet in front of a prop gun either that shoots blanks, because they are dangerous and they can kill you. So we got some updates from CNN, but before I do that, let's say good morning to the people in the chat, just so I can 26 in the house, 13 likes. Hit the like button, by the way, and you are the sponsor of the show. Hit the like button, share the stream on your favorite social media. What the hell did I do there? Let's put me back on here. If you watch at PDawgKnight.live, you can be a sponsor of the show. Up in the upper right-hand corner is the Streamlabs link. You can watch the show. You can chat from there. And if you decide that you have an inspirational thing you want everyone to hear, but you can't get my attention, well, dollars often help that cause along. Plus, you're helping sponsor the show, and I won't have to sell as much furniture this weekend. So anyway, let's say good morning to everyone in the chat. Who is first today? None other than Somnambule Nation, who gets the bell. Thank you for being here as always, and thank you again for tweeting out the show on your own Twitter handle. By the way, all social media at PDawgKnight, Twitter, Gab, Minds, CloudHub, Parler, and Getter, and maybe even Truth Social, if that ever actually gets launched. Who knows? Trump's new media company, which we haven't talked about too much yet because I don't know. I'm not going to be investing in it, but I might jump on it just for the hell of it. Also, good morning to Jesse Leon's in the house, Mike Savage, Blarg. Also, good morning, Jonathan Peterson, Advocatus Diablo, the Devil's Advocate, K Shell's in the house. Good morning, Black Hebrew Israelite.
That's right.
Also, good morning to, let's see, Jaeger Pony, my favorite Canadians here. Did I already say Mike Savage? Well, I did, yes, but Blarg anyway. Also, good morning, Let's Go Brandon, a.k.a. Renee Mayette, who says, I'm Alec Baldwin. I shoot people dead whilst joking about it. But F Trump and F guns and stuff, yes. Also, good morning, Kevin S., who says, hey, P-Dawg. Also, good morning, too. Selecta Boys in the house. Yeah, boy. I wonder why that didn't work right away. Also, good morning, too. Wikipedia Snippet, how you doing? Who am I missing here? Let's see. Scrolling. HP Lovecraft, the first sponsor of the show today. Also, good morning, Willett Forge. Nice to see you back. Jen T, what's happening? Let's see. I'm scrolling. Okay, there's a lot of you here. Let's see. Maybe some people come in later. Oh, there you go. Aaron Meredith, what's happening? Also, good morning to Attack Alpacas in the house. Welcome back. Good morning to. Wait, is that a cat or is that? Oh, that is an alpaca. You got to do Abby there. That's pretty cool. All right, cool. Also, good morning, Ranting Monkeys into the house. I thought you were doing a game stream, Monkey, but hey, I'm glad you're here. Welcome, sir. Also, and thank you for reminding people to hit the like button. Good morning, Data Wasteland, Quippers United. What's up? Nice to have you here. Also, and I think. Okay, that's Ed Kessler's in the house. And Jethro Hatero. Well, welcome everybody to the show. All right, so let's there are some updates on the Alec Baldwin story from CNN here, and I'm going to go in the order backwards. Just some things that different stories that have been happening about this. So Rust crew member, okay, so we already have this Rust crew member dead after the shooting incident involving Alec Baldwin. Again, it was a prop gun. It was not an actual firearm, but it's still, prop guns can be dangerous too. You're eating first. Well, yeah, good. That's a good thing. And I'm glad you're, I'm glad you're awake. I'm glad I was listening to you earlier. And so it's always good to hear your voice. Also, good morning, Pissed Off Shih Tzu and Richo, my friend from down under. So we already know the story there. Then apparently the family of Crow actor Brandon Lee has been offering condolences to Alec Baldwin. The family of Brandon Lee has tweeted a statement in the wake of yesterday's incident in New Mexico, on a New Mexico set film that claimed the life of director of photography and injured the film's director. Our hearts go out to the family of Halna Hutchins and Helena. I don't know how it's probably Helena, something like that. Hutchins, and to Joel Souza. So, and Brandon Lee, if you don't remember, died of an accident involving a prop gun, and so he was trending yesterday and today just because of a similar incident. So his family has spoken up. Good morning, Check Your Logic. What's happening? Nice to see you. And again, this isn't the first time someone was killed with a prop gun. A film crew member died and another was injured after actor Alec Baldwin discharged a prop gun on the set of the movie Rust, according to law enforcement statement provided to CNN. It's not the first time people have been killed by what were supposed to be harmless guns on a movie set. While filming the movie The Crow in 1993, actor Brandon Lee, the son of Bruce Lee, was killed when struck by a bullet from a gun that was supposed to have just blanks, but it had a bullet lodged in the barrel. Even blanks can be deadly. Fired at very close range. In 1984, actor John Eric Hexon was playing around with a gun on the set of Cover Up Golden Opportunity and died after putting the gun to his head and pulling the trigger. Look. Even a gun with blanks can be dangerous, so you have to be careful. Patrice Ripley, our local K-pop aficionado, is in the house. Good morning, my friend. And then finally, and then the prop master explains how prop guns can be dangerous. You can read that one yourself, but it'll be in the link after the show. As you know, everything we talk about on the show, if I have video or a news link, I will put it in one single link in the second paragraph of the description down below if you want to find these stories for your own later use, or for your blog, or if you're making videos, or if you just want to figure out what the hell I was talking about. It's all going to be there. All right, let's move on, because I got a lot today that I'm going to try to get to. Yesterday, the president of the United States, yes, Sundowner Joe, had a town hall with CNN. Now, I didn't watch the town hall. In fact, I was listening to Randy Monkey on Monkey in the Morning while I was at work, or before after I was watching it. I was listening to the replay, and apparently it was like every other CNN town hall involving Democrats. It's particularly Joe Biden, where you had to be pre-screened to come in, and you could submit 3 questions in advance, and then they will choose which question you can ask, which of course gives the president a way to pick out the questions he wants to answer. And I don't think there were any challenging questions last night, and so I didn't expect there to be. So I didn't watch the damn thing, and I still haven't watched it. But after listening to the Ranting Monkey this morning, I'm pretty sure that is exactly what happened. Because I trust the Ranting Monkey's instincts. And so, but there were a couple things that happened in the town hall, and this was one of them, which was interesting, where the president of the United States is now saying that people who are first responders or police who refuse the Fauci juice mandates, he is saying they should be fired. That was one of the things he said last night. And if it were Thursday, we'd be saying FTG Joe Biden. For this one, well, we can say it anyway. Go ahead and pop that in the chat if you want. President Joe Biden said Thursday that first responders and police officers who refuse the Fauci juice mandates should be forced to remain at home or be fired. Biden issued the juice mandates weekly testing for private companies with 100 or more employees in early September. And the president, who also announced a stricter Fauci juice requirement for federal workers and contractors in September that limited the loophole for unvaccinated individuals. Except there is still no man. Now, look, federal employees, right? He says he made it stricter. Federal employees, except for White House staff and Congress and congressional staff and employees of the CDC. Everyone else, mandate in federal employment. Interesting. I've never figured that one out. Good morning, Sarah. How you doing, my friend? I did give Lady Booby your number. We're gonna figure out when we come out and visit you. Other mandates have been put in place across the country by cities, police officers, and first responders across the country, including in places like Chicago and Washington, have voiced opposition to mandates, and some of them leaving the job over it. In fact, like 10% of the force in Seattle, which was already down some 200 or 300, 400 officers or something like that, and a bunch of others got told to stay home and do not pass go, do not collect your pension. And so a bunch of them marched to the City Hall building and with their boots, and they all put their boots on the City Hall steps as a protest. But anyway, here's let's see. Here's Joe. Here, let me. You know what? I might have to just dispense the music today because I have way too much news. Let's do this. We're going to pause that because even though it's Funky Friday, I got to pause that. Let's listen to Joe Biden's answer to this question. Oh, I'm going to have an ad. Hang on.
Hi.
No, goodbye. I don't want to hear your voice. I'm turning her off for a second. I sometimes do that. Anyway, if anyone got the joke, Amy is in the house. Hello, Amy in Connecticut. Nice to see you. Okay, is eHealth Ho done yet? Almost.
And hearing prescriptions.
Not quite.
And other
Why isn't there a skip button on this commercial? God, I hate this crap.
So call or enroll online.
Anyway, here we go. All right, here we go. Wait a minute, you skip this ad in 5. Oh my God. Hang on. There we go. Now.
This is a busman's holiday for you guys, having to come and hear me. But thank you.
Mr. President, let me ask you a follow-up about that. As many as 1 in 3 emergency responders in some cities like Chicago, Los Angeles, right here in Baltimore, are refusing to comply with city vaccine mandates. I'm wondering where you stand on that.
Gee, I wonder where he stands on that. This is Joe Biden. By the way, I guess Anderson Cooper had to help Biden get this through this 2-hour town hall and was kind of prompting him and trying to get him to say the things that they probably all planned on him saying. And sometimes Biden lost track of his thoughts and never got to where he was supposed to answer the questions the way he's supposed to. And by the way, I don't know if you know who Paul Begala is, but Paul Begala is one of those, Democrat consultants, shills, whatever. And he was talking about how this press conference was just a triumph for Joe Biden. Fucking sundowner Joe. Anyway, let's listen to his answer.
Police officers, emergency responders be mandated to get vaccines? And if not, should they
Why is he looking at the floor?
Stay at home or let go?
Yes and yes.
By the way, yeah, this is a town hall, right? This is a town hall where they screened everyone who's coming in. I wonder what they screened them for. Oh, maybe to make sure that they're supporters, because it's, that round of applause right there sounds like didn't it sound like a campaign rally? Listen to this again. Even notice they start clapping even before the questions before the questions answered.
Right here in Baltimore are refusing to comply with city vaccine mandates. I'm wondering where you stand on that. Should police officers, emergency responders be mandated to get vaccines? And if not, should they be stay at home or let go?
Yes and yes.
See, you notice that someone's starting to clap ahead of time. Jethro Hetero, what's happening? Nice to have you here. I mean, they're clapping for him saying yes. Why are they clapping? Oh my God.
By the way,
what, Joe?
By the way, I waited until July to talk about mandating because I tried everything else possible. The mandates are working. All the stuff about people leaving.
What are you talking about? They're working.
You have everyone from United Airlines to Spirit. All these airlines. We're not going to get
really.
All
how about
96,
Southwest?
97% of the people have gotten the vaccine.
Okay, then why do you need to mandate it? If 97% they all got the vaccine, then why do you need to mandate it? Who cares if the other ones don't have it? If only 3%, that would be, what's the word for that? Herd something? A herd? Herd immunity? Why would you need to mandate it? That's stupid. So can you, what a joke.
All these folks who are going to leave the military if they're mandated. Not true. You got about a 90-some% vaccination rate.
Then why are you worried about it? Why, if there's a 90% vaccination rate in the military, that should protect most everybody. And those 10%, so what? Oh, wait a minute. Is the juice not working as well as you thought it would? Does it wane faster than acquired immunity? I'm never going to say natural immunity again, because even though you do have some sort of natural ability to build antibodies against certain diseases. I'm not going to say natural immunity. I'm going to say acquired immunity. Acquired immunity.
I mean, so the idea is that, look.
And who says that
the two things that concern.
Who says the mandate's doing that? Are you saying that all these people, this 98% that were, the reason that's 98% in the military right now is because you put a mandate out in July? What was it before then? Huh? I'm just curious. What was the before and after of your fake mandate? I'm just curious.
Me. One are those who just try to make this a political issue. This is a busman's holiday for you guys having to come in here. Oops. Misinformation. Number one. Number two, freedom.
There we go.
I have the freedom to kill you. The two things that concern me. One are those who just try to make this a political issue. Freedom.
You mean like Democrats who are blaming Republicans and people on the right when the most unvaccinated people are part of your biggest constituency? Is that the political issue you're talking about, Joe? Do you think all of us black folk are all suddenly Republicans now? Because and even the BIPOCs. Do you think all those BIPOCs or whatever, black and indigenous people, the people who have the lowest vaccination rates, are they all Republicans now, Joe? I doubt it. Who's making it political by saying it is Fox News is killing your grandmother because she doesn't believe in the mandates when it's not? I'm telling you what, most of the white grandmas are vaccinated. Just saying. Most of the black grandmas are vaccinated, I would say too. But I'm saying, come on, Joe. Come on, man.
Come on, man. I have the freedom to kill you with my COVID.
Oh, as if COVID is automatically a death sentence. My exit out doesn't work yet. Freedom to kill you. Fuck you, Joe. By the way, I am one of over 100 million survivors of COVID-19 in the United States of America. Just reminding you that I am that. Oh my goodness. Ladies and gentlemen, we have one of the most patriotic donations in the history of donations. I'm going to play it again because I like hearing that music. Oh, one of the most patriotic donations. What the hell is that? What the hell was that on my screen? Thank you, Patrice Ripley, with one of the most patriotic donations available to the mankind on the Morning Night Live. The only reason I don't want Biden to step down is Harris. Well, thank you, Patrice Ripley, a local and official K-pop aficionado. Well, what the hell happened there? Did it go again? What was that thing in front of my donation? That was weird. Oh, that was what she chose. Okay, you could choose some of your own stuff. And then I got Hacksaw Jim and Duggan with throwing that flag around. Again, thank you. Thank you very much, Patrice Ripley. You are a great American. 99.87% survival rate. Well, now, okay, Richo, that's a hate fact. But it's 99.8. I don't think so. I think it's overall it's like a 99 something. But if you're elderly, for example, if you're over age 60, it's getting close to 98%. It's almost 2%. Fatality rate for people over 60, over 80, I don't know, something like that. But if you're under 60, you have to add another 9 in there. It's like 99.9, and then depending on your age, it's either 9.97%, or if you're a child under 18, 0 to 17, it's like 99.9982% survival rate. Okay. So anyway, again, thank you, Patrice Ripley, for your very generous donation. Oh, by the way, Patrice Ripley, You are the new Streamlabs
Superstar sponsor of the day.
Thank you so much, Patrice. I appreciate you. Anyway, let's see what Sundowner finishes here with. It's funny. When he said, though, kill you with COVID. Again, it's not a death sentence, okay? I'm one of over 100 million Americans who have recovered from the coof and lived to tell about it. Probably got some pretty good antibodies out of that. And not the antibodies, even if the antibodies are waning, the B cells that produce the antibodies now have a memory of how to produce those antibodies. So that should I get it again, I am probably more protected than someone with the Fauci juice. We'll get to that in a minute.
Those who just try to make this a political issue. Freedom. I have the freedom to kill you with my COVID.
Yeah. And you know what's funny too? There was a poll, I don't remember what it was, a poll of, I think it was Democrats. Democrats believe that if you catch this, they were asking people, what do you think the percentage of people who are hospitalized that have this are? And in this poll, they were like 60%. People say like 60%. It's actually like 1% of people who get this are hospitalized. If that, can't donate blood if you've been vaxxed. I didn't know that. Are you sure? I don't know about that. Does anyone know? Hello, Zach Osborne, by the way. Anyway, let's finish this. I want to hear this stupid answer.
No, I mean, come on. Freedom.
Come on. Oh! By the way, I do have my cup of reparations in hand, and I mean, come on, freedom. It's just America. Oh, it's just freedom, Joe. What's important about freedom in America, Joe?
Number one. Number two.
That's number one. That's your answer for number one? That's number one? That's part of, what does that mean? Okay, here we go. Let's find out what number two is.
One is that, the gross misinformation that's out there.
Oh,
like what they're saying about my buddy Colin Powell, and he was my friend who passed away.
Your buddy? Was he your buddy, Joe? I didn't know he was your buddy, Joe. But what was the misinformation they said about Colin Powell? Is this going to be that same straw man that they were talking about the other day?
Oh, and he was my friend who passed away. Colin Powell was vaccinated and he still died. Well, he knew he had serious underlying conditions.
Oh, so he didn't die from COVID. Is that what you're saying now, Joe? Are you saying the family lied, Joe?
And it would be difficult. He clearly would have been gone earlier had he not gotten the vaccine. Had he not.
Really? Wouldn't he have had to caught COVID first? Hi, Keenan. How you doing?
Gotten the shots. But my generic point is there's so much misinformation.
Yeah,
you know
like
what I find fascinating?
Said.
I turn on Fox to find out how popular I am.
Okay, is he going to tell another lie?
How are you doing there?
Is he going to tell another lie? Is he going to lie straight to Anderson Cooper? Is Anderson Cooper going to call him out for lying? I bet he's about to tell a lie. Let's see. Okay. All right. I'm going to do a poll right now because I don't even know what he's going to say, but I want to do a poll. Is what Joe Biden about to say going to be true? Let's see, true or some made up shit? And true, made up shit. All right, there's your poll. Let's see what Joe Biden's about to say.
very well. I think I'm at 3% favorable. But all kidding aside, one of the things I find, do you realize they mandate vaccinations?
At Fox headquarters.
Yeah. I find that mildly fascinating.
Oh, do they?
Mildly fascinating.
I want to bring in...
So, what's your point, Joe? They have over 100 employees. Isn't that what they're supposed to do, Joe? Are people allowed exceptions at Fox News, Joe? I'm just curious. Let's see. And why is that so funny? And who's this fucker? Oh,
this is Thaddeus Price from Randallstown, Maryland.
Oh, he's going to ask a question. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to call him a fucker. Hi, Evan. How you doing? And Rusty Shaq, what's happening? So anyway, Joe thinks that police officers and first responders should be fired if they don't take the juice. Okay, whatever. All right, let's move on because this wasted too much time on him. Anyway, apparently the whole town. I'm actually going to watch this town hall if I can find it. I can't seem to find it right now on any of the CNN YouTube sites, or it's probably on CNN.com or something. But I'm actually going to watch it, and I may just go through. I'm either going to go through a list of questions or my favorite answers from that show. So anyway. We'll see what happens. So somebody voted true. Okay, good for you. You got true one. It is true that they, I don't believe that he was watching Fox News. So notice how he set that up. He set it up as, well, I went over to watch Fox News to see how popular I am, right? But then the joke was that at Fox News that they require the people to have the Fauci juice, right? Okay, so why did you have to turn on Fox News to do that? And how did watching Fox News let you know that they had to take the Fauci juice? Anybody? I'm just not buying it. Anyway, White House staffers were fact-checking him to journos in real time last night. Were they? Interesting. I'm pretty sure that it was a whole bunch of bullshit, and that was a campaign rally. It wasn't a town hall. That's why I didn't watch it. All right, moving on. The FDA hearing and comment period for giving stupid 19 Fauci juices to the children, ages 5 to 11. They're going to hold a hearing on October 26th. Which is in 4 days, to discuss whether to allow the experimental vaccines to be given to children ages 5 to 11. This is from their webpage. The meeting presentations will be heard, viewed, and captioned and recorded through an online teleconferencing platform. On October 26, 2021, the committee will meet in open session and discuss a request to amend Pfizer-BioNTech EAU for administration of the stupid 19 juice to children ages 5 through 11 years. Prior to this meeting, the FDA has a public comment period allowing anyone to comment on this agenda. That 5-day comment period began today. So if you want to comment, I'm gonna open that link right now because the meeting is clearly linked closely to the Biden administration's announcement today that is preparing to roll out a campaign to get every child in the country vaccinated. Terrible idea. And I'm going to tell you why. Okay? Because the possibility of children those ages getting the Fauci juice, right? Getting side effects from those from the juice, seemingly far outweigh the dangers of the disease itself to children that age. What is the point? I get it. There have been children who have died from this over the last 2 years, 500 some, right? Oh, wait a minute. Over the last 18 months, 540 kids between the ages of 0 and 17 have perished from this. Those are flu-esque numbers. And We know that there's been a huge number of adverse reactions, particularly in children, particularly in males ages in the teen years, recent post-pubescent, I can't say it, ages, age 13 to 16, 17. I'm not really sure what the point of this is. And I keep making this analogy. I'm going to make it again. Would you demand that all children ages 5 to 11 years of age get vaccinated for shingles? Now, I can understand why you would do it with adults, particularly after 50, when normally you would get the vaccination for shingles. But would you administer it to 5 through 11 years of age just because there's people who get shingles? It doesn't make sense to me. I don't know. I'm just, but the Biden administration they have secured enough vaccine supply to vaccinate 28 million children ages 5 to 11. This is not I don't think this is a vaccine for children that they don't have the test, the long-term results oh my gosh, this is insanity. They've got this entire country on a complete and utter moral panic right now. I'm just saying moral panic. It absolutely doesn't make sense. So anyway, they have this, they made this announcement that they've got it ready, man. They got 28 million ready to vaccinate 20 million kids. They got where they're going to do it, how they're going to do it, blah, blah, blah. Though they are, of course, not saying so. I guarantee that once the juice is approved for children, the Biden administration's next step will be to mandate them for any child who wants to attend public school or be treated at any of these hospitals. Expect such mandates also come down from the various states controlled by the Democratic Party. Your children will no longer be yours at this point. As I said, you can. There's a place you can comment. I have that open right here. Regulations.gov is the site, and it is open here. So it'll be in the link in the description down below in the tabs from the regulations. This is where you have commenting on a notice by the Food and Drug Administration. You can put your comment there, and apparently you can submit it here. So if you want to do that, there's the page. It'll be in the link down below. Let's move forward. Rand Paul is saying, "I told you so, motherfuckers." Maybe not in the exact verbiage, but he's hitting back at critics after the National Institute of Health has admitted to gain-of-function research. Dr. Fauci, okay, so you know what? They're holding Steve Bannon in contempt, which I'll talk about in a minute. Why aren't they holding Dr. Fauci in contempt of Congress? Or bring him back for a little perjury charge. He lied to Congress. Very, very much so lied. He lied.
You're a lying dog-faced pony soldier.
He lied. He lied.
Why the fuck you lying?
Motherfucker lied. Republican Senator Rand Paul from Kentucky had a brief message Wednesday after the National Institute of Health admitted they did, in fact, fund gain-of-function research. I told you so, motherfuckers! He didn't say that. He said, I told you so. Doesn't even begin to cover it here, Paul tweeted Wednesday. Here it is. NIH corrects untruthful assertions by NIH Director Collins and NIAID Doctor. I've never haven't practiced in 30 years. Fauci, that the National Institute of Health had not funded gain-of-function research. The National Institute of Health states that EcoHealth Alliance violated terms and conditions of the NIH grant. They're pawning it off on EcoHealth. I think did we look at this letter? I don't think we read it, but you guys can read it here. The NIH issued a correction admitting EcoHealth Alliance, which received a grant from the National Institute of Health, did violate the terms and conditions of the grant to fund gain-of-function research. Oh my God.
Wow.
The NIH described an experiment conducted by EcoHealth Alliance that was testing if spike proteins from naturally occurring bat coronaviruses circulating in China were...
China is asshole. China is asshole.
Hit the right button. Were capable of binding to the human ACE2 receptor in a mouse model. The letter reads, all other aspects of the mice, including the immune system, remain unchanged. And several mice in the experiment infected with the SHCO14WIV1 bat coronaviruses became sicker than those infected with the W1V1 bat coronavirus. The letter dated October 20th continues. This was an expected result of the research as opposed to something that the research set out to do. They're saying this is an unexpected result of the research. Really? Really now? Anyway, there's more here. You can read the rest. But Dr. Fauci lied.
You're a lying dog-faced pony soldier.
Lied.
Yeah.
Lied.
Why the fuck you lying?
He should be in jail. Or something. Big fines, big fines, big fines. Should step down. He lied. But, you know, Democrats are in charge. So anyway, goodbye, Spike TV. Hello, Spike Proteins. Yes, Wikipedia snippet. That's exactly it. Good morning, infamous one. Nice to see you. Moving on. Speaking of lies. Two stories this morning illustrate once again the utter dishonesty and untrustworthiness of the governments and scientists who have been promoting strict lockdowns and mask and vaccine mandates as a response to the stupid 19. First, the National Institute of Health yesterday admitted in a letter to Congress that it had funded gain-of-function research at China's Wuhan lab despite repeated blunt denials by it and former NIH Director Francis Collins and NIAID Director Anthony Fauci.
You're a lying dog-faced pony soldier.
Okay, I think we already did this, but that's from Zero. Yeah, they did a link from Zero Hedge there. So when Senator Rand Paul of Kentucky had accused Fauci of funding this research, Fauci had not only denied it, he accused Paul of being a liar. Ha! Pot. You're also a kettle, because there you go. In truth, it was Fauci who was lying.
You're a lying dog-faced pony soldier.
In his testimony to Congress, Fauci and the NIH provided a foreign government funding to do secret biological weapons research that, in the end, was used to attack the world and this country.
Why the fuck you lying?
Fauci should be fired forthwith. Collins had stepped down on October 5th, probably because he knew this information was about to be released, proving that he was lying.
Lies, yeah.
Second story is as egregious. It appears that the mass study at the Australian government, here's what, oh, this is good. This is good. Wait till you hear this one. Hang on. Let me move this so you can see it a little better. So they did this mass study in Australia. Okay. The Australian government and not the government. There was a mass study that the Australian government has touted to impose mask mandates throughout their country. And it's filled with so many basic errors and faulty research procedures that it should never have been published in the first place. Victoria. Oh, this is from the article that is in, this is from the Australian, this is an Australian article. I'll open that up, but I'll just read the highlight here. Victoria made face masks mandatory outside the home in Melbourne during its second coronavirus wave in July 2020. But the Department of Health has been unable to provide any scientific research or studies upon which the decision was made. Instead, the Department of Health directed news.com.au, Australian News, to a paper published in July this year by the Burnett Institute, an influential public health body, which has come under fire in recent months for its alarmist predictions as justification for the mandate, which has resulted in thousands of dollars in fines for Victorians. The study claimed the mandatory face mask rule had turned the pandemic almost overnight. There's been a lot of low quality research that has come out in the pandemic, but for this to be used as a basis for a policy change is staggering, said Dr. Kyle Sheldrick, a medical researcher and PhD candidate at the University of New South Wales. Dr. Sheldrick was one of a group of independent scientists who recently highlighted major issues in a number of studies held up by proponents of the drug ivermectin to treat stupid-19. To me, it's very clear that this has not had a close peer review, partly because of the serious and substantive issues, but also it clearly hasn't been proofread, he said. When I look at this particular piece of research, it is very, very low quality. I was staggered to see this was published in a major journal. Another researcher, an eminent Australian clinician and scientist who spoke on condition anonymity, was equally scathing. I agree. It's crap! He said. And if it's not Scottish, it's crap. Anyway, the highlighted words remain true to this day. For more than a century, research had consistently found that masks were relatively useless in preventing the spread of viruses and were generally counterproductive if used improperly. This is why health officials had routinely advised against the widespread use of masks for decades. Then suddenly, around May 2020, government agencies worldwide dismissed that extensive research to claim that masks will save us all. When these governments were challenged, as Australia's was, they and their supporters in the science community, she blinded me with science, sorry, quickly whipped up studies to disprove that past data, studies that have all proved to be poorly done or exceedingly unconvincing. If you read the full story at the link, you will see the incredibly shoddy nature of this particular Burnett study. Now, they give an example here, but you can go read it yourself. Well, here, let me give you this one example. Then if you want to read it, there's a, in that story, the article that I opened the link to right here, news.com.au, it has more examples, but here's one example. The Burnett Institute study relied on images from the photo library of The Age newspaper showing Melbourne community settings to conclude that mask usage rose from 43% to 97% after the July 22 mandate came into effect. They relied on photos. Photos from The Age newspaper. That's how they determined the change in percentage of people using masks by photos in a newspaper. Dr. Sheldrick said it was hard to think of a worse methodology to answer this question than just looking at which photos are collected by a metropolitan newspaper, even ignoring the fact that the photos were taken for an editorial purpose, that this is not a random sample. When you look at the actual data in the Excel spreadsheet, it is stunning. The spreadsheet lists the date, time, and location of 44 photos. A whole 44 photos, 19 taken before the announcement, 18 after mask rule came into effect, and 7 in between. Nearly all of the photos in the before group were taken between 2 p.m. and 4 p.m., while nearly all the photos in the after group were taken between 8 a.m. and 12 p.m. So they weren't even at the same time of day. Which just means the data is useless. And you can read the rest because I don't need to. It doesn't even surprise me at all that you have, it's almost like, how they have push polls, when they try to, ask a question in such a way that your most likely answer doesn't make you look like an idiot, but then they say that result is the gospel of the poll, because polls are so true about everything. Anyway, let's move on. Lancet COVID origins investigator wins $1 million Chinese prize for claiming the virus developed naturally. Yes, the Chinese are paying for the information they want. Do you understand why? I'm sorry, I know that's not on the screen, but that's what it says. Do you understand why I am so skeptical about climate scientists? Because people give them money because they say what they want to hear. And this is the Chinese. Someone named Dr. Malik Peiris, who previously served on the Lancet Medical Journal's Stupid 19 Origins Investigation Committee, received China's formal sort of a Nobel Prize for research, affirming the Chinese Communist Party's false narrative that Stupid 19 developed naturally. They gave him $1 million. Paris, a Sri Lankan virologist working in Hong Kong, was one of 12 scientists leading the now defunct Lancet probe into the origins of Stupid 19. While the task force is no longer listed on the medical journal's website, it was forced to disband due to extensive conflicts of interest. Shocker. With the Wuhan Institute of Virology. Archived web pages reveal Peiris's participation in the effort. Following Peiris's stint on the task force, the Chinese Communist Party awarded him with the prize in life sciences in the 2021 Future Science Prize, dubbed China's Nobel Prize. China's top scientific honor is accompanied by a $1 million prize. I know every one of you needed that. And which is funded by several Chinese Communist Party-linked companies such as Baidu, Hill House Capital, and Sequoia Capital China. Hey, isn't that the one related to Hunter Biden? I don't know. Okay, that was a joke. I have no idea if that's the company that is related to Hunter Biden's investments in China, facilitated by former Vice President Joseph Biden. By the way, also, good morning, Legit Low Talker. How you doing, brother? All right, nice to see you. Anyway, so yeah, they gave a prize for saying that it developed naturally. Moving on from the New York Post today. Citibank. That's not what I wanted. The Democrat vaccine mandates for police are bound to backfire. Didn't Joe Biden say, what did he say back here? He said, Biden says first responders, police who refuse juice mandates should be fired. And here we're finding out that they're probably going to backfire. In the media narrative, those resisting the Fauci juice mandates are all Trump-supporting snake handlers from Appalachia or something like that, but real life, as happens so often, doesn't track with the narrative. In fact, much of the resistance comes from people like airline pilots, health professionals, and air traffic controllers, none of whom can fit the stereotype of uneducated rubes. But perhaps the most interesting and determined resistance to the Fauci juice mandates comes from those who are usually tasked with enforcing government mandates, the po-po. Across the country, officers are refusing the shot and daring their bosses to make them take it. There are several lessons in this about class, about democracy, and about the authorities' competence. First class, as Bridget Fedesi writes, these days, the men and women who worked through the whole pandemic are being shamed and patronized by the very people whose cushy existences are facilitated for a year and a half. Or they facilitate. Yes, us heroes. Because they were called to be a hero because I slung packages at UPS. Us heroes they're trying to shame us now because we, after a year and a half of making sure your shit made it to your door, or the fact that, the cops were kind of handcuffed, no pun intended, but all those doctors and nurses who've been saving lives and they were heroes and doing TikTok dances, and now they're firing the ones who just won't comply. Fuckers. Anyway, they're being shamed and patronized by the liberal elites who holed up in the Hamptons and didn't have contact with the outside world for a year, are ready to get back to their soul cycle classes, even if it means firing a few people they once called frontline heroes. I was trying to think of a hero song. When a hero comes along. Oh, is that a Bette Midler song? Who sings Hero? No, it's "You really know that you're my hero." That's the Bette Midler song. Oh, God. Anyway, Apparently, it's difficult to comprehend that people who never stopped working while you were in your bubble, who bore the greatest risk throughout the entire pandemic, are making their own calculated decisions about getting the Fauci juice. Yeah, because we've been out here. We out here. We're out here. We've been out here. And y'all just don't get it. In fact, while I was being a hero, I got the 19. Oh, it was so scary. I mean, I did have a fever one day, and it was, oh my God. But I survived. I'm a survivor. I just won't take your Fauci juice. I'm one of 100 million survivors in the United States. 100 million. Just saying. Apparently, it's too difficult to comprehend that people who never stopped working while you were in your bubble, who bore the greatest risk throughout the pandemic, are making their own calculated decisions about getting the vaccine. And in many cases, their decision is to skip it. Perhaps they've already had stupid 19. As well as was the case with a huge number of police and healthcare workers before the juice was available. And consider the vaccine not worth taking on top of the robust natural immunity, acquired immunity, I'm going to stop saying natural immunity. I'm going to start saying acquired immunity that stupid 19 infections provides. Perhaps they've had bad experiences with other immunizations. Perhaps they just don't like being pushed the fuck around. Back off, bitch. Regardless, they're pushing back. In Chicago, the Fraternal Order of Police President John Catanzara, if that's not the perfect name for the Fraternal Order of Police in Chicago's head, John Catanzara told his members not to fill out the super juice statements demanded by the city. I do not believe the city has the authority to mandate that to anybody, let alone that information about your medical history. Good for him. Chicago Mayor Lightfoot called this an insurrection. Give me a fucking break. Lori Lightfoot called this an insurrection. But if so, it's one she'll have trouble putting down. Chicago, already a hotbed of crime and murder, can't afford to lose 50% or more of its police force, which is what's expected to happen if she suspends all the officers who won't share their stupid juice status. There are similar rumbles from other police departments around the country, leading foreign policy columnist Stephen A. Cook to warn darkly that unvaccinated police officers could become America's own insurgents, citing extensive mandate resistance in Chicago, Seattle, Las Vegas, and Washington, D.C. Cook warns that plans to fire officers might backfire. When the United States dissolved the Iraqi army in 2003, he notes, it left thousands of military-trained individuals without the ability to support themselves and their families, contributing to a dangerous wave of violence and insurgency. I'm going to just back away from that kind of a statement. They'll go get jobs where other people will hire them, where other municipalities. So, for example, in Atlanta, Georgia, there was a doctor working at a hospital, one of the heroes, the doctors, worked all the way through stupid 19, wearing PPE and never got sick and whatever. And did he get sick? I don't know. He did get COVID. And because in the Atlanta hospital system, they require the Fauci juice, they let him go. What did he do? Well, he's working in a hospital in Alabama that will have him because he's a hero. Okay. Anyway, they're going to in these democratic cities where the crime is already skyrocketing, or cities in general. I shouldn't just say democratic cities, but it's democratic cities. They're going to have these mandates, and then they're going to all these officers, and it doesn't even have to be. It doesn't have to be 50% of the force. It could be 10%. It could be 5% of the force. These police forces in these cities are stretched so thin because of all the bullshit from the last 2 years. where the people who are actually affected by reducing police forces are telling you, stop reducing our police force. We need them. And they're going to let people go. It's a pretty stupid plan there. What is that? What's in that movie? He's talking to the guy. Anyway, moving on. Also, there's a couple of mayoral candidates in New York City are clashing over the vaccine mandates in their debate. New York mayoral candidates Curtis Sliwa, formerly of the Guardian Angels, and Eric Adams debated each other on Wednesday, clashing on several issues important to voters, including the Fauci juice mandates. On Wednesday, Mayor Bill de Blasio announced a juice mandate for all city workers who must get the jab by October 29th. They got 7 days. Good Lord. Now, I believe the mayor's action was correct. Adams, the Democratic nominee, said, recalling the pandemic's emotional toll on the city. I'm vaccinated, and I was on the ground during the stupid 19, and I know what happened. I saw family members dropping off their loved ones to hospitals, never to see them again, and I saw how we traumatized our businesses and how we destroyed our economy, said Adams, who is a Brooklyn borough president and former NYPD captain. Oh, I saw people dropping off people at nursing homes, too, and they never saw those people again either. There's an awful lot of them. Yeah, talk to your ex-governor. However, Adams said that he would have approached the situation differently and would have negotiated with labor union leadership before implementing the mandate. Well, that's interesting. Now, Republican nominee Sliwa said that he too is jabbed, but condemned firing people over their vaccination status, especially essential personnel like healthcare workers. What did we do to the teachers? What did we do to the healthcare workers who were crawling into the belly of the beast during the lockdown and the pandemic, Sliwa asked. I know, because I and the Guardian Angels were taking care of the emotionally disturbed and homeless in the subways and in Penn Station. We cheered them at night, We cheered them at night at 7. Then all of a sudden we decided de Blasio, who has supported Eric Adams here, they've been a team that all of a sudden they should lose their jobs if they weren't going to be juiced up. Sliwa continued. Now, obviously, I'm using some edited language here. That's a horror. We should never fire people for that reason. Yeah, I concur there, Mr. Sliwa. Anyway, so that's a big hot topic in New York City. It'll be interesting to see how that goes. Let's keep going here, because I've got to get caught up here. Now, did you hear the Washington State football coach was fired because he refused to be juiced? And it says it just gave away the governor's illegal mandate trick play. This week's firing of Washington State University's head football coach and 4 assistants gave away the state's game plan for how it routinely deals with people seeking exemptions from the governor's stupid 19 mandate. At the center of the plan is a reprise of the old Statue of Liberty play. They're using some football metaphors here. You remember that one? According to the history books, the Statue of Liberty play is when the quarterback draws back for a pass, gripping the ball with both hands, fakes a throw with one hand to one side of the field, and as his hands come back down, secretly hands the ball off to a running back crossing behind him, who then runs the opposite side of the field. It's an effective play that looks like Lady Liberty herself in the form, but not. It is really a sleight of hand, a feint to keep the opposition off balance. Well, that's what happened to the state and the other government employees in Washington, including people less famous but much more important: cops, paramedics, firefighters, then now former Washington State University head coach Nick Rolovich. But by Monday, all state and government employees had to get a shot or an exemption, or they'd be constructively fired. Rolovich asked for a religious exemption. He was denied. By Monday, to gain some insight into part of this strategy, go to California, where UCLA Medical Center anesthesiologist Dr. Christopher B. Brake told PJ Media he refused to ask for any kind of exemption from the state stupid 19 mandate, because those who grant exemptions can also take them away. Oh, ding! It's kind of like if you rely on the government for your food or your quality of life, guess what? That government could take that away from you. He believed the mandate was unethical, illegal, and wrong regardless of exemption. The hospital escorted him from the building where he saved lives. He was a hero, man. Come on. He was a hero. They escorted him away and helped people on a daily basis. When I talked with him last week, he was riding in the car with his precious toddler, taking a hot lunch to his child at school, not scrubbing in on surgeries. Yeah, this is a fucking surgeon. Saves lives every day. They act him. Anyway, he understood. He saw the play being run against him. He refused to play. But Rolovich didn't see the opposition's playbook, so he failed to see what looked like Lady Liberty, freedom from mandates, was a feint of hand, a sleight of hand, a lie, well, you know. Rolovich's lawyer, Brian Failing, yes, he's suing, wrote in the statement in the spokesman review that the WSU indicated that even if the exemption had been granted, no accommodation would have been made. As a result, Coach Rolovich will be taking legal action against Washington State University and all parties responsible for his illegal termination. Folly is right. Coach Rolovich probably would never have received any accommodation anyway. So, boy, they must be full up on head football coaches in the whatever that state is. Also, they lost more than 100 Seattle police officers who asked for exemptions, and they're not on the job right now. While the city hems and haws over whether to consider accommodating any exemptions. No, fuck the exemptions. There should not be a mandate, because again, the government giveth, and the government takes away more than they gave. Keep going here. I'm not going to get through this all, but anyway, sheriffs in vaccine mandating Chicago, the sheriffs to vaccine mandating Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot, they'd say to her, pound sand, Beetlejuice. Hello, Brett Hayes, by the way. Also, Lord Stanhope. Illinois sheriffs are declining to provide mutual aid to the Chicago Police Department, citing Mayor Lori Lightfoot's stupid 19 mandate and overall anti-police policies. Lightfoot set a Fauci-juice self-reporting deadline of midnight Friday for the city's emergency responders. However, Fraternal Order of Police President John Gadanzara objected, arguing the policy is a violation of the officers' rights. By Monday, less than 2/3 of the CPD had complied. That day, the Illinois Law Enforcement Alarm System and Association of Police Departments sent a bulletin to its members. The ILEAS was concerned that in the event of large-scale incident, while the mandate issue was being resolved, Chicago might require mutual aid, as in help from other departments, and they were looking to assess the amount of support they could expect. The response from neighboring jurisdictions was less than enthusiastic. Good! Live with it, Beetlejuice. It doesn't make sense to say, I only want my residents touching vaccinated people, but I'm going to send all these potentially unvaccinated people from other municipalities to replace them, said DuPage County Sheriff James Medrick, pointing out the illogical nature of the request. Actually, multiple sheriffs from neighboring counties said, fuck off. So they need to figure it out. You can read the rest of that one on your own. Good for them. Let's see. Oh my God. So this is one of the other spokesmouths for the Biden administration, and she's claiming the reason there's a supply chain issue right now. Wait, maybe I could did they put a clip? Yeah, you just got to hear it from yourself. This is kind of hilarious.
You mentioned at the top that unemployment's down, wages are up, and that's a testament to the progress that President Biden has made on the economy. But there's no mention of inflation in that. And while wages are up almost 4.5%, inflation is up 5%. So any bump in pay that people are seeing in their paycheck is getting wiped out when they're going to the store and paying more for everything. So what do you say to people who are looking at their budget and they're saying this doesn't feel like progress under President Biden? It feels like
this is a classic answer from a press secretary. She's like the associate press secretary, whatever. They're all trained to answer questions this way.
a pay cut.
So let me first say this, and I said this earlier, the president, he knows how even a small price increase really can squeeze too many families. Like, that is something that he's aware of.
Good. That's good. He's aware
and
of
so
it.
we're working on a wide variety of economic programs to help, right? Which is why the Build Back Better plan to work on our supply chain issues is incredibly important.
Oh, really?
We're using every tool at our disposal to lower prices for working people and bring economic relief, right? If you think about the human infrastructure, the Build Back Better plan, we're talking about prescription drugs, we're talking about paid leave, sick leave, medical leave, we're talking about community college, we're talking about things that's really going to give that economic relief, that middle class tax cut for everyday people. So we're going to continue to do that
middle
work.
Class tax cut too? We're going to get a tax cut too? Which I don't mind. I think the less money that I send to Washington, the happier I am, but still.
Rescue plan actually helped the American public a lot. It put checks in people's pockets. I talked about the child tax credit. I talked about the child care components in it. There was a lot there that gave some relief. To Americans here. And so the Build Back Better plan is just an extension of that, if you will. It's just to invest that long-term investment to make sure that people feel that relief. Look, we were in a very different place a year ago. Not to say that some people are not still feeling the squeeze. Totally understand that.
Just some people.
A year ago,
people
were getting sick. They were losing their jobs. Women were leaving the workforce, and so we've been able to turn things around, start the economy.
Make sure you focus on women, because that's your constituency that's got to vote for you.
Back up again, 600,000 jobs a month. Nearly 5 million jobs in the first 8 months. That matters. Now we just have to continue.
You're claiming that's because of anything you've done other than some of these states. No, but thank you, Texas, Florida, and some of the other southern states that opened up early that got your numbers up. Because boy, you would have had jack had they not done that. Now, here's it is though. Here's the answer to the question that we're talking about.
Quickly on the supply chain, there's a lot of talk about Christmas presents not arriving on time, but the issue is more severe and critical than that.
No, it's affecting Christmas presents arriving on time. Okay, that mail your Christmas presents early. Use UPS, FedEx, and the post office. That's not the supply chain issue that they're talking about. They're talking about the supply chain of shit that people have to get to sell you or to make things to sell you. That's the problem. And what if the stuff that's there that you order, that you know what they have in stock, that's going to come the same time it would any other time, because us at UPS and FedEx and the post office aren't doing anything different. I was laughing about this morning because some of the higher ups now, apparently there's a rumor that some of the higher ups, we used to, during peak, I would work, I'd work two half shifts, go in at 10 o'clock at night and be done about 9 in the morning, right? And now they're saying, they want those people who come in early to come in at 5 o'clock. Why? I don't know. Somebody at the top thinks that that's possible. Well, there are 2 other shifts you have to work around, so you can't really do that. But anyway, your Christmas packages, this is a dumb question, but listen to this answer anyway, because there's something in it that's,
Small businesses, auto body shops can't get parts to fix cars, so they can't make money.
That's supply chain.
90% of school nutrition programs say they're worried about continued supply chain issues. According to a School Nutrition Association survey, some schools are making last-minute grocery store trips just to feed their students. So this is an issue that the White House has been.
I still am dumbfounded I'm dumbfounded that people rely on schools to feed their children. Some people in lower economic situations, I can understand that relief, but it's getting to the point where everybody gets free lunch at school now. I don't get that. I'm sorry. But can't make the poor kids feel bad because they get a free lunch, and the kids who are not as poor don't, whatever.
Working on and aware of since February. Why does it seem like this is a problem that is getting worse, not better?
Now, wait. So the question that I kind of talked over is, why did the supply chain issues seem to be getting worse than they were in February. You've known about this February. Why are the supply chain issues getting worse? Listen to this answer. This is rich.
Worse, not better.
I would say this when it comes to the supply chain, there are complexities there. When you think about when we learn about the global supply chain as well, right? That's one thing that you kind of have to put it in the bigger picture. So, but it is a complex system that requires private sector collaboration and coordination to improve efficiency and get through the backlog, and that's what we're seeing currently as we're talking about the supply chain. These are just some of the players in the game. There are port directors, terminal operators, ocean carriers, railroad truckers, warehouses, and retailers. And let's not forget consumers who have a record level of demand as we have made a historic economic recovery. Because we have the forecasters.
As we have made a historic economic recovery that is causing the supply chain issues.
Did not think we would be where we are today. We have surpassed that. So we have had some historic economic recovery. Do we have more work to do? Absolutely. That's why we're trying to get
this Build Back Better plan. Issues,
but the Biden administration, as it comes to the supply chain,
I would say that perhaps the supply chain issues have to do with people not working. And not having enough people to do the shit because people don't want to work and aren't working, and even though there's plenty of because yesterday in the town hall, President Biden said it was because people are not going back to work because they're afraid of COVID. Yeah, that was a dumb answer too. Real quick, thank you, Thomas Cleaver. Welcome to the show, and with a very, very special shake weight donation, and thank you for sponsoring the show, who says, "Sup, dog? Kapow!" Thank you, Thomas Cleaver, for being a longtime sponsor of the Morning Night Live. How you doing? This is the other. Who is this woman? She's the what is she? The deputy press secretary. What is her name? White House deputy press secretary Karine Jean-Pierre. So she's the other. She's Jen's counterpart. They sometimes take turns doing the daily White House briefings and press conference stuff. So, all right, let's see if we can finish up here. Oh my gosh, I'm not even going to be close. Well, here's some articles for you to read. Inflation expectations reach highest level in more than a decade. A key measure of the market inflation expectation has soared in recent days, cementing worry that the Federal Reserve will not be able to bring the rate of rising prices back down towards its long-term goal of target of 2%. The Federal Reserve is done saving our ass, and I don't know why. Anyway, that story's there in Breitbart. You can read the rest. Gas soars to $7.59 a gallon in one California town as prices hit multi-year highs nationwide. Holy shit. I couldn't even say a word that is so insane. Price of gasoline in a remote California town reached $7.59 per gallon this week as energy costs continue to rise nationwide and show no sign of slowing. The town, Gorda, California, is located in a rural part of the state about halfway between Los Angeles and San Francisco and is known for its high gasoline prices due to its distance from other areas with gas pumps. According to ABC7, the price of premium grade gasoline used for cars with engines that require higher octane fuel in Gorda surged to nearly $8.50 per gallon. You know what? They also sell like some gas stations in California sell racing fuel, and they're usually around double the price of just regular gasoline. God, I hope you're not using racing fuel in your cars. Anyway, the national average is $3.37 a gallon. I just filled for $2.86 yesterday, so I feel privileged where I am at. California is hardest hit by surging gasoline prices, with an average cost reaching $4.53 per gallon on Thursday. If you didn't know gas prices were up, well, you probably don't drive. Okay. Now, you remember when we said that the Justice Department kind of collaborated with that school board association on that letter comparing parents to terrorists? Well, apparently the White House has too. Oh, what a den of fucking thieves. The School Board Association responsible for comparing the parents to domestic terrorists reportedly collaborated with President Joe Biden's White House before publishing its letter calling for federal assistance in dealing with concerned parents. The email by the parents defending education emails obtained by Parents Defending Education, a concerned parents organization, discovered that the CEO of the National School Board Association, the nation's largest school board association, was in communication with the White House for several weeks before the organization's letter dropped. According to emails, the White House had requested additional information on specific threats, which they still haven't given, all across the country. In the talks over the last several weeks, the White House staff, they requested additional information on some of the specific threats. So the letter also details many of the incidents that have been occurring, sort of. Anyway, so is it surprised that they were colluding on this bullshit? Moving on. This is Goomert, Louis Gohmert. Merrick Garland was there for something. They were talking about the double standard in prosecutions of January 6th rioters for offenses that Democrats in Congress had allegedly committed without consequence. And here, let's just listen to Gohmert here, because this is pretty good too. Except I'm probably going to get an ad to start. Hang on. Yeah, how about that? Loading ads.
Hi,
Shocker.
I'm eHealth.
Bye. You're not here anymore. 27 seconds of an ad. Well, I'm going to sing for you. No, I'm not. I know you want me to, but that's okay. I wish the U.S. had lasted long enough to replace that antiquated metric system. Oh my gosh. Anyway, okay. Close. 7, 5. There's going to be probably 5 seconds of silence after this ad too. eHealth.
Has any defendant involved in the January 6 events been charged with insurrection?
I don't believe so.
Of course not. Why would they be?
Well, that is the word most used by Democrats here on Capitol Hill about January 6, but no one has been charged with it that we could find either. How many protesters on January 6 were charged with obstructing an official proceeding for 4 to 6 hours? Do you know?
I don't know the exact number.
Why don't you know?
Obviously, there are 650 who were arrested, some for assaulting officers, some for obstructing proceedings, some for conspiring to obstruct proceedings. I can get you the numbers for each of the specific.
Well, thank you. I'd be interested in getting that number. But regarding the men who broke the glass in the 2 doors there at the speaker's lobby, when the 2 Capitol Police have been standing there, moved to the side.
Oh, no, I don't want your stupid ad. Okay, that's really not what I meant to stop at. Why is this lady standing there in her damn underwear?
Actors and actresses do when they have to get in shape really fast for a...
Hang on.
Because I can promise you, it's not the same diet that you're following and the same training plan.
This is a 42-second ad. Skip.
To allow them access. Were any of those people who broke glass and did damage to those doors working for the FBI or other federal law enforcement entities?
And this is an ongoing criminal investigation, and I'm really not at liberty to discuss. There have been some filings in the nature of discovery, which has been provided to the defendants. But other than that, I can't discuss this now.
Well, we've seen some of those filings that talk about persons 1 through 20-something. Were those persons 1 designated by number, were those people that were employed by the FBI or federal entities, or were they confidential informants?
Again, I don't know those specifics, but I do not believe that any of the people you're mentioning charged in the indictment were either one.
Was a determination ever made as to who repeatedly struck Roseanne Boyd?
Wait a minute. Jethro. Maid rights are $6.49 now? Oh my God, that hurts. That hurts so much. If you don't know what a maid right is, you're missing out. So my grandparents lived in Marshalltown, Iowa, and there's a maid Taylor's Maid Rights in Marshalltown, Iowa. That was like an absolute required stop every time we went to Marshall Shout. $6.49 for some. It's ground beef, basically seasoned ground beef and pickles and mustard on a bun, and they're delicious. But oh my god. Anyway,
in the head with a rod before she died.
Again, I think this was a matter that was investigated by the U.S. Attorney's Office. And
well, there's a witness on video saying that it was a D.C. Metro policeman. I didn't know if you'd been able to confirm or deny that. Well, on June 22nd of 2016, Judge, most of the Democrat members of Congress took over the House floor, and for the first time in American history, members of Congress obstructed official proceedings, not for 4 to 6 hours, but for virtually 26 hours, not just violating over a dozen House rules, but actually committing the felony that some of the January 6 people are charged with. That was during the Obama administration. Nobody has been charged. And those kind of things where you let Democrat members of Congress off for the very thing that you're viciously going after people that were protesting on January 6th gives people the indication that there is a two-tiered justice system here in America. You know well, you've been a circuit court judge, you know well that confinement, pretrial confinement, is not ever to be used as punishment. Yet there are people, and understand, as a former tough law and order judge, I would sentence everyone, regardless of their party, who did violence or committed crimes on January 6th to appropriate sentences. But for heaven's sake, they are being abused in the D.C. jail. Have you done an inspection over there of the D.C. jail since your department has some jurisdiction?
So my understanding is Judge Lamberth, who I respect very much, has...
Yeah, he held the warden in contempt, but we haven't seen improvement.
He asked for a review, and the Justice Department is conducting a review. The marshals did an inspection the other day, which was reported in the news. And the Civil Rights Division is examining the circumstances.
Anyway, so there's that. Other articles that are going to be in the tabs. Apparently, this woman too started. She was born in Russia. Okay, she's a Congress person, Victoria Spartz from Indiana. And she also grilled the Attorney General. I don't have time to watch it, but it's in the tabs here. She's talking about how the FBI is starting to resemble the KGB. Ooh, shots fired. Anyway, moving on. Also in the tabs today, House votes to hold Steve Bannon in contempt. Yes, I am in contempt of Congress myself because I think they're contemptible. But you probably already heard that news. Yeah, he didn't answer the question. He didn't answer any questions. Also, there was who else worked together to frame Donald Trump with a Russia hoax? You guessed it. Apparently, the Dark Lord George Soros himself paid for his own investigator to work for the U.S. Senate Armed Service Committee to plant the fake Trump Russia story, and that Senator John McCain let him do it. The Maverick. You got to read this. I don't have time, but it's a pretty good story. Also, apparently Zuckerberg and the dollars he put into the election, he may have broken some serious laws, and we'll see about that. There's a good article in the National Pulse, which has a subhead right here. If you can't read this, see, is my cursor there? Yeah, see, the subhead in the National Pulse magazine, online magazine, is, what's it say here? It says, "Let's go, Brandon." I don't know why that's there. Who the fuck is Brandon? I don't know. But hey, let's go, Brandon. And but yeah, he put over $400 million into the election and stuff that may have been illegal. And we're going to see if he gets charged with anything there. And then also, Merrick Garland is pretending he doesn't know about this alleged sexual assault in London County. Republican Chip Roy also grilled Attorney General. So there's his thing on Capitol Hill that there was a whole bunch of clips from that. You can find it in these articles. So tell you what, and then there's more about that scandal in the Federalist, and somehow sexual assault in school has become a partisan issue. We can't figure out why. So a couple really good articles on that. And UC Berkeley students pledge money to help the Taliban kill Americans inside the U.S. It's a video by Ami Horowitz. You gotta, in fact, I'll just open the link to that. I think it's a YouTube video, so I'll make sure it doesn't autoplay here.
We're raising money for the Taliban.
Okay.
Raising money for the Taliban here. Get your Taliban here.
Okay, so that gives you an idea what that article is going to be, that video is about. And students actually gave them, pledged money to raise money for the Taliban. Fucking hey. By the way, the Minneapolis cop who shot the woman through his window, the Supreme Court dropped one of the charges, the one that I think it was depraved murder, because of it was not meant for individual shooting at one person. But they did sentence him to nearly 5 years for his manslaughter conviction, and the shooting of Justine Diamond. You can catch up on that here. And then finally, the last couple here, the end of the Arbery case, Ahmaud Arbery murder or case against the guys. Media has asked the judge to lift a gag order for attorneys for some reason. They're on day 4 of that case. I haven't really followed that too closely, but if you want to, you can. Legal Insurrection is a great place to follow that particular case. And then after an ethics review, the Fed has barred top officials from trading individual stocks, which I am shocked that Fed officials could even trade stocks legally. I think there's certain people in the government who should immediately have all of their assets frozen and not be able to make any trades at all. But because there's been some people who made quite a hefty sum of money on being insiders. Maxine Waters, Nancy Pelosi, lots of Democrats and lots of Republicans. Let's admit it. They should. I don't think government officials and elected officials should be able to do that. And then the last thing, I just opened a video here. This video by from Viva Fry, a 14-year-old. About a 14-year-old who they said died from COVID, but apparently didn't really did not die from COVID. Basically, not sort of anyway. So you can check that one out in the end. So I'm going to close up that, and we've got to call it a day. So, ladies and gentlemen, you are the sponsors of the Morning Night Live, and before you go, one of the things you can do as a sponsor of the show is to hit the like button. Wow, 43 people here today, and 33 likes. If you haven't hit the like button yet, please do so. And if you would be kind enough to share this stream, even though it's the end of the stream, you can share it now. People might come and watch it before, during, and after. Well, that's what we do here. And if you're watching our replay, put a comment in the comment section. Say hi in the comment section. I don't do it for algorithm's sake. I just like to know who drops by. So there's some people who are very good about dropping by. Avocados Diabli, when he misses the beginning of the show, he goes back and watches the beginning of the show. When Tazzy, who is in a completely different time zone and drinking schedule than Richo, Tazzy, who's an Aussie too, watches on the replays because and then tells me, hey, I was here. And I appreciate that. That's how I can always know that Tazzy was here. I appreciate those of you who do that. And there's a lot of people who, because their schedules, work schedule, whatever, you can't watch during the regular time, but you're so kind to watch during off hours. I appreciate that more than you know. So, ladies and gentlemen, on that note, thank you so much for joining me today on the Morning Night Live. The weekend is here. I hope you have a great weekend. We probably will be doing a trail stop stream tomorrow, so those are just fun and jokes and just random stuff with people around the bar as we drink Bloody Marys and mimosas and have breakfast on Saturday mornings. So you can join me that tomorrow. Otherwise, I am here Monday through Friday, 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Central, 1500 GMT, at least until daylight saving time screws up my entire world as far as knowing what GMT is when it's daylight saving time. Doesn't matter. 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Central. That never changes. That's a lot easier. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being here. Time for me to go. My name is Dawg Knight. Oh, and I will update the link in the second paragraph for all these stories during the outro. And I'm out of here. Bye-bye. Have a great weekend. Hey, this is Dawg Knight, and thank you for watching today on the Dawg Knight Channel. If you have an observation or remark you'd like to make about this video or my channel, I absolutely welcome you to write it in the comment section down below. I really look forward to hearing from you. And before you go, if you like what you saw but you're not already subscribed, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and definitely click that bell that pops up afterwards so you'll be notified when I post new videos or when we go live. I broadcast my live show, The Morning Night Live, Monday through Friday at 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Central. A special thank you to all the supporters of this channel who share our videos on social media and who make donations through Streamlabs, YouTube, Venmo, and Cashapp, which are all linked in the description down below. Thanks again, and until next time, I'm Dawg Knight, and I'm out of here.